Greetings, greetings. It's Teresa. Teresa, the Hearific and Terrific. Hearific and Terrific, bringing you hearing loss awareness on sound advice, a hearing friendly business podcast. And say, hey, thanks for listening. And for those of you who can't hear too well, this will be available later on YouTube channel Teresa Barnes RN. So therefore, you can use closed captioning in case you missed anything I said. Today, we're going to cover hyperacusis. That's Hyper, which means up, and acustis is ACUSIS. What that is sensitivity to loud noise. How does that apply to businesses? Well, the largest group of spenders is the boomers and beyond. We're worth a mere $1.7 trillion. So as you are struggling, even in your corporations, especially the food and hospitality industry, or if you're struggling as a small business, wouldn't you not like to have more big spending customers? Well, you're missing a whole market niche. And how your sound environment is one of their concerns. So yes. We're going to do a little exercise here. If you're someplace where you can close your eyes, then close your eyes. Do be safe. So obviously if you're driving, don't close your eyes. So only if you're a safe environment. Just imagine yourself for a moment being a blue betta fish. You know, they have really long fins and they swim and they normally live alone. And so imagine yourself in your fishbowl, which is clear glass. And what you do all day is you circle round and round. Sometimes when the owners come, you come up and flop your fins back and forth just like a dog waves its tail. I had a Harley 1 and a Harley 2, and I'm looking for Harley 3, but not necessarily in fish form. So there's my little plug. I'm looking for Harley 3, not in fish form. So here I am. And so anyway, you are a fish that the fishbowl cleaner has come along, and she's captured you out of your fishbowl, and she accidentally drops you out of the filter basket. And there you are, a proud fish, flipping and flopping. I mean, you're a warrior fish. That's why you have to live alone, because you may beat up the other guys. You're ever so gently, she gets you back into your filter basket. And after a few bruises on the fins, and of course the ego is completely deflated as you've been flipping hard on the surface with no access to swimming. You don't know how to swim on hard surfaces. That's not what fishes do, even though they're not all in little bowls. So yes, that's what it's like for a person with hearing loss that sits at home most of the day watching TV, crossword puzzles, or gardening in a quiet environment. Go ahead and open up your eyes now, so you'll be tuned into better to me. You're Teresa, Hearific and Terrific. So you decide to go out, and you decide to go out and eat. And you live in the little Carlsbad village by the sea. So it's a fairly quiet place. It's not a big metropolis. So you're not listening to sound come from the street all day long inside your apartment. You are living in a quiet environment, a quiet neighborhood, actually. But there you are, you're walking down the street and you are blasted by the motorcycle noise at 100 decibels. Wow. Oh, that's like ear shock. It's like body shock. It's like pain shock. I mean, it's painful to hear something that loud when you've been in a quiet environment. Or say you go to a restaurant or and in place with your granddaughter. And the noise again is 115. You've tested it on your decibel X reader on your phone, and you're getting more anxious, and you're getting more frustrated, and you're getting ready to explode and to want to yell and shout and tell them to turn down the noise and to be quiet, and to can't they just control themselves, and why do they need to have those loud noises? Well, it's a noisy world, and it's probably going to continue to be a noisy world. And it's startling when something like that happens, to say the least. It's like being a fish out of the bowl, flipping and flopping on a hard counter, trying one's best to maintain composure. Noise sensitivity is exacerbating by not wearing hearing aids if you're supposed to, as you don't hear the sounds of even a refrigerator. A refrigerator normally is around 80 decibels. I personally have a hearing loss of 57 decibels in one ear, 56 in the other. And for me, I don't hear the refrigerator except when I want to. But when I put in my hearing aids, which I do wear them for a minimum of 4 to 6 hours per day, I don't necessarily wear them for 12 hours like many of the nurses have to in the hospital environments now. But it is the kind of thing that by the time they put on all their different stuff to protect themselves from COVID, I'm sure the last thing they're going to want to take out is those hearing aids and take all that stuff off again. So it's like living in your own little fishbowl. And it depends when one's watching TV. I mean, most noise sensitive people will not crank up the TV, but that's something you can do. I mean, you have control over that. You can turn up the TV to say about 15 volumes or 20 volumes. And then that way your ears get used to hearing loud sound. I mean, it's just a matter of getting acclimated to the sound. For people who have hearing loss that think they have hyperacusis. Okay, so it's the kind of thing. Also, we have captioning for TV. And just imagine if you were to wear your hearing aids while you're watching your TV, you can Bluetooth it in. And if you Bluetooth it in, that means the person sitting next to you, uh, if they're not used to captioning, they don't have to put up with the captioning. And also, they don't have to ruin their hearing, especially if you're a 40-year-old, or even if you're a 21 or 22-year-old that just come back from the Afghan wars and you have hearing loss and you have the TV cranked up so loud that it is ruining your hearing, children. I kind of messed that up. But it's ruining the hearing of your children. So I hope you heard that. Ruining the hearing of your children. So it just kind of depends, but those are two things that you can do if you're at home. You can wear your hearing aids and you can play around in your environment to figure out whether you want to increase sound on your iPod or on your phone or on your TV to kind of get used to what the outside world noise is going to be like. And so it's the kind of thing that some people with hyperacusis actually have normal hearing. So hyperacusis is a medical condition. It's a hearing loss condition. And so it's the kind of thing that if you live in a quiet hearing aids, so hyperacusis is rare. It is a rare hearing loss disease. However, noise sensitivity, so hear me clearly. I know I've been stumbling a little bit here now. But noise sensitivity, when one does not wear hearing aids and lives in a quiet environment, is not. What I'm doing today, hearing loss, sound advice, hearing loss business podcast fans, I am recording on Zoom. And this is my 4th recording because I have done one or another technical glitch. And because I am a very persistent individual, I am going to keep doing this until I get it right. So otherwise, I may just give up. But currently today, I'm doing it on Zoom. So those of you who have someone in your family that is hard of hearing can actually watch this on the YouTube channel, Teresa Barnes at Teresa Barnes RN, the end, on YouTube. So what do? If you have a hearing loss and you're sensitive to noise, or if you're a business owner and you want to attract more of those clientele or those customers, or you want to retain those employees with hearing loss. And if you're a business owner, you can have a hearing-friendly space or zone with visible hearing-friendly symbol to let the customers know that this space where all noise should be right around 72 decibels. So that's how loud the noise should be. And it's the kind of thing that I'm going to just shift this a little teeny bit. There we go. Yeah, I'm more in the light now. I know this has to be annoying for those of you that are just listening to me, but you can see me on YouTube and it's not perfect. So first time, I'll try it again. So what do? If you're a business owner, you have a hearing-friendly space or zone with visible hearing-friendly symbol. That's like what I've got on here, an ear with a question mark, only it would say hearing-friendly space or zone or area. And nowadays, we have, because of COVID, we have those plexiglass in a lot of restaurants. So they are using plexiglass in a lot of restaurants. Years and years ago at Phil's Barbecue, we used that same concept. We used plexiglass between booths, and we used those plexiglass to keep that environment quiet for the person who had hearing loss to make it more accessible. So thank you, Phil's and Phil's Barbecue. And no, they're not a sponsor today, but they will be one day. So know that everyone is welcome in these hearing-friendly spaces because it's the kind of thing that people with autism need a quiet place. People with PTSD, so post-traumatic stress disorder or disease, they both have Ds. There are 2.2 million Middle Eastern vets that came back with hearing loss. So they need places that they can go, that they can also take their family. But their children, if they're going to use this environment, they need to keep their little voices down. So it needs to all be quiet, as well as people who, it's called the lumbar effect, people who yell over one another. They need to use a regular area because we need a quiet area, and so do the people with autism and PTSD, and anyone who has a sensitivity to noise, like hyperacusis and hearing loss, and just those ones who want to save their hearing. We have all had a period of isolation due to COVID-19, which is something that those of us with hearing loss are accustomed to. However, as we begin to recirculate and become active, let's keep those people with hearing loss connected. And since you business owners have already invested a lot of money in that plexiglass, let's now take that plexiglass and create hearing-friendly areas with that. I mean, it's cost effective. Why not? Bring in that $1.7 trillion missed market niche, or niche. I always mispronounce it wrong. But how Doug said it was right. And then for those of you who are noise sensitive with hearing loss or without, wear a product like Vibes. And I know the V, the B, the D are all hard to distinguish with hearing loss. So that's V like in victory, IBES. Or even another product called Eargasmics. They are high fidelity earplugs. So they block out the noise and they let in 72 decibels. Or you can wear Bose, which has over the ear protection. Why not make it cool? We've made wearing masks cool. In fact, even yesterday I was driving to go get something to eat, and the person I was with said, "Wow, that woman looks really sexy with her mask on." And yeah, she did have it all together. She did look sexy even with the mask on. So why not make it sexy or cool to help the people with hearing loss, and then also to wear things to protect your hearing and to have hearing friendly spaces so that you can attract us in to spend our money, because we're just not going to go to some place that's super noisy. And as a nurse or anyone else who knows about hearing loss, they're not going to cater to environments that are noisy. And you are putting yourself at risk for being sued. And not only that, your workers' compensation claims can also go up. So that's something you don't want to do either, because it's just something that's it's an easy solution. So contact me at heartheletterc.com, or you can go to your audiologist and get custom made earplugs, high fidelity earplugs, if you're really super concerned about saving your hearing. And it's important to let others know that you care about it being quiet, or you need for it to be quiet. Oftentimes people decide, if they have learned that someone is hearing impaired, that they will speak so loud that it's almost like yelling, or they'll exaggerate their words. And no one learned how to speech read or to how to speak by exaggerated words. So please don't exaggerate your words or yell. Even me, who wears my hearing aids, when somebody starts yelling at me, I emotionally just block them off. I mean, I build up walls so thick that there's no way you're going to get through. I mean, the end, so being in an emergency room for RN department manager, I've I've experienced all sides of society and at all stages of their lives. And some of them the following day will say, "Oh, Teresa, why are you not speaking to me today?" And I think to myself, self-preservation, you don't know what you did last night, but of course I don't divulge any of that. You have to keep it quiet, because a patient's dignity is very important. So it's just the kind of thing that you kind of grin and bear it. And it's one of those skills that I've taken through with me in life. And if you're still working in an office environment, then let your coworkers know why you don't go to the office happy hours, or why you sometimes sit alone in a quiet corner on lunch, or why sometimes you don't go to the team meetings. I mean, heck, you might even decide to become a hearing hero and take notes for the person who has hearing loss in your team meetings, or even in school, like in college or in graduate school, or even in grade school. They might allow you to do something like that. I mean, that is one of those requirements. If you let the teachers know, and whoever the person is that's inside of your school system know, that you do need this accommodation. And reserve a seat that's in the middle of the boardroom and not facing the windows, but rather have the lighting at your back if you're hearing impaired, or hearific and terrific, because it's easier for lip reading. So that's the reason for it. We can read the rest of the body just fine, but we can't always read the lips if we can't see them. And right now they're up and coming, as well as hearing loss awareness, 3 key lessons to hearing loss on Kajabi. So send me your email so I can send you yours for your free lessons, and an offer to join the membership site. But there's going to be transparent masks, and those are simply masks that are clear. You've probably seen pictures of me at various places if you've looked me up, where it's actually going to help people that are deaf or are hard of hearing. And I don't like that term, but that was a term that was given to us before. Many of the youth think that hard of hearing is old-fashioned. I kind of agree, but it's legally still what it is until we change it. So a lot of people like to call us hearing impaired, which I don't have any problem with that. But I would prefer something like, I'm in the hear less group, or the hearific and terrific group. So for you millennials that are listening out there that like something new and different, hearific and terrific, let's change that. Let's get it to the 21st century, where people with hearing loss are not stigmatized anymore, but they're included in the group. Did you know in the Olmec culture, 2500 BC, so before Christ, people with hearing loss were considered special, and they wore an Olmec jade doll around their neck so people could see that they had SEE, hearing loss. This is similar to the logo I have on my shirt, and it's simply an ear with a question mark. How is your hearing? So, and as adults, and also as children, it's important to honor one another's space. So if your spouse or somebody in your family has a noise sensitivity or refuses to wear their hearing aids, then you decide to honor you. So if you enjoy going out to eat, you enjoy going out and socializing with friends, you enjoy going to game night, you enjoy all the little, I don't know, listening to music, going down the street, then simply enjoy those things, because we all have a limited time here on Earth, and we all have 24 hours per day. So you decide on how you're going to spend your 24. Are you going to keep answering for what? Or are you going to let what start being responsible for themselves? And I do teach classes on hearing friendly, effective communication skills. So instead of answering what, you can answer different ways, which will make you a little bit more pleasant to get along with and more agreeable too. So I once heard that a grandmother, and it wasn't me, just so you know, finally got her hearing aids because her daughter told her that she could not babysit, as she felt the grandchild would be at risk when Granny could not hear if something happened that needed to be attended to. Even Heather Whitestone, she was the one and only deaf Miss America. She was deaf, but she ended up marrying a man that hears well, or in the hearing group. And her daughter, I believe it was her daughter, but her child was at risk. And so she almost had a life-threatening accident. So she decided to go ahead and get cochlear implant for that part, to become part of the hearing world. And so it's the kind of thing that there are those that choose to stay in the deaf culture, and those who choose to be part of the hearific and terrific group, because most of the world is hearing. And it's just something that it's a personal choice on what you decide to do. And for children, oftentimes it's their parents' choice on what path they're going to go until they become older. Like myself, I didn't get my first set of hearing aids until I was age 22, even though I should have had them back when I was in the 3rd grade. But my parents didn't choose to do that because my dad was too proud. He didn't want anybody to think that there was anything wrong with his princess. So don't ask me about all that, you know. But business owners, your environments can also be the cause of hearing loss, where sound, if it's above 85 decibels, just think of your young servers who, after an 8-hour shift, are likely to develop hearing loss at an early age, according to the World Health Organization. And now we're going to move into the second part, and we're closing up, as you can probably hear. October is National Audiology Month. Yeah, October is National Audiology Month. Most of you have probably not heard about that. I wish I were on Zoom chat and we could do a raise of hands or not, but, and Protect Your Hearing Month. So you've heard about Vibes, you've heard about Eargasmics, you've heard about custom-made audiology ear devices, high fidelity devices to protect your hearing. So check with your local audiologist and see if they'll give you a free hearing test this month. Just like breast and cancer awareness, they're doing free mammograms, they're doing free proctoscope. Why not include a hearing test, which is far less invasive and squishy? I mean, I hate mammograms. And my mother did have cancer from that. So, but I do them, but I don't like them. But they're squishy, you know? And so a hearing test is a lot easier. And you can even do them online for free. MD online hearing test is one of the ones I know about, and there are many others. So just Google that one. And it's beneficial. So hearing health is beneficial to both your mental health, your physical health, and I think you business owners have heard, to your business health. So why not be proactive and hire me for consulting? We can do it all on Zoom. You can show me your space. We can do a decibel meter reading and see what you need to do and how you can implement using your plexiglass and then how you can order the hearing friendly logos and how your staff can do hearing friendly business training so that you can get up on this before it gets you. I mean, that's what it's all about. So our sponsors today are Acuity Scheduling, and you can go to the link there on my account, Teresa Barnes RN. I will have it on show notes and like normal, and with future affiliate links in the future. I tried something new for those of you who are just listening to me. This is my fourth take on doing this on Zoom for various and sundry of different technical issues, and it's now in the afternoon, and that's one reason why my face has shadows. It had nothing to do with being spooky or scary or not getting any sleep. I actually overslept this morning, and this Darren Harding's one of his podcasts that he was doing that I really wanted to connect up with, but I overslept, unfortunately, and I didn't set the alarm for that one. So in the meantime, you can see me on YouTube, Teresa Barnes RN. You can see the blue hair treatment. And please subscribe to both Sound Advice, a hearing friendly business podcast, and to Teresa Barnes YouTube channel. Yours truly, one and always, Teresa Barnes RN. Keep hearing for connection until we meet again.